All right, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Today is Thursday, March 17, about 9:30 in the morning. Spring break, or as I like to call it, spring regular, for those of us who aren't teachers or students. So happy spring break / spring regular to you watching today.
That's right.
And we got some fun topics today. How you doing today, Joe?
It's good. It's St. Patrick's Day.
It is St. Patrick's Day. You're wearing green. I'm not. Let's get out of the way. No, you need to pinch me.
Oh, pinch you? Oh,
Isn't that's like that when you're growing up? That's all I knew about St. Patrick's Day is you wear green and you get pinched if you don't. I have nothing green. When I was getting dressed this morning, I was like, I have nothing.
Okay. So, all right. Trending fans, we got to get this man some green.
I know. I need something green. Okay. Nice. Ready just to jump right in?
Let's do it.
Let's jump right in because the number one topic today is St. Patrick's Day.
It is.
No surprise.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. So, St. Patrick's Day, I think of pinching people. I think of eating and drinking green things.
Right.
People dyeing their rivers and lakes green. Local things. So, what else is on your mind today as we're getting ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
So, I mean, probably like a whole lot of Americans, like we're some measure Irish.
Yeah, sure. It's in there somewhere.
And we actually, our household does a lot with St. Patrick's Day. I don't know. This is a weird thing between Ginger and I. Like the Valentine's Day thing is fine, but it seems like forced romance, right?
Okay.
And so we tend to do something very light for Valentine's Day, and then we kind of build up St. Patrick's Day a little bit because now no one else is doing it on this day. So,
right.
So the Skillins have exchanged gifts, and we will of course wear green. We'll do maybe a few other things that we feel like doing. Probably like talk about St. Patrick's Day a little bit when we get home. The fact that it's March Madness today too is like a double win.
Yes.
It's a good thing.
Yep.
When we lived in Atlanta, there was a great pizzeria that we like to go to called Hearth, and they actually had a pizza called the Blarney Stone. So think of like a Reuben sandwich that you get like at like Jason's Deli, but on a pizza, and it was wonderful. And they had it during the month of March. One of these days we'll get one of those pizza ovens. We'll do like Blarney Stone pizzas. I mean, so we like it, but I think it's because it's a little bit of our heritage, because it's just kind of fun to wear green. I think Ginger's favorite color is green, so we like the Green Bay Packers.
Nice.
And so it kind of all coalesces on a day. So, but St. Patrick himself was a great church history personality.
Good. I knew you would know more than the average person about St. Patrick. We're as Americans, we know nothing about it. Most of us, I would say.
Right.
So we celebrate this big day, but we don't really know what we're celebrating.
Right. And like, what is it, BuzzFeed or something? They'll probably like some sort of quiz, and we'll all fail at it, right?
Yes.
And all these things. But I mean, as a historical person, like he really influenced the church quite a bit. There's a good chance that the majority of Europe was evangelized because of St. Patrick's work. He was actually held. He was a slave. He was held captive. He was freed, returned to Ireland, and did all this church planting. Helped advance theology. There's a good chance that like Western European Roman Catholicism flourished because of St. Patrick. We say a lot of his prayers at given times of the year without even knowing it.
Yep.
His Trinitarian theology was kind of strange. Like he used like the shamrock as like a way to talk about the Trinity.
All right, sorry. The Trinity is like this 3-leaf clover here.
I'm gonna stop you right there, Patrick. Yeah, hold your horses, Patrick. You're about to confess partialism.
Partialism?
Yes, partialism, a heresy which asserts that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are not distinct persons of the Godhead, but are different parts of God, each composing 1/3 of the divine.
It really is like more tritheism than it is like good, wholesome Orthodox Trinity. But really, it's like it's hard to explain the Trinity. But he gave it the good old college try, and for that we give him credit for that.
Yes.
But there's actually a cool prayer of St. Patrick called the Breastplate Prayer. That it's worth Googling and looking at, and maybe even praying as a family tonight as a way to kind of give a hat tip to church history, to this wonderful individual who donated his whole life to see the gospel flourish. And so for that, we honor him today.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at this, but on days like today, I think it's good to do things like that so that people aren't just caricatures of history, right? We're not getting this guy linked up to leprechauns or anything weird like that, but he's an actual guy who did a lot of really good things, and so
right.
Good reason to celebrate today.
I actually worked with someone from Scotland, and she actually wore orange on St. Patrick's Day for Philip of Orange.
Okay.
And like it opened up this whole new perspective because like for whatever reason, in the lottery of things that we embrace or reject,
Yeah.
like American Life has embraced St. Patrick's Day, where like this other group of people in Scotland, they're like, no, like Philip of Orange is our preference. And so it's kind of cool to be like, so if you wanted to also like get on Wikipedia and look at Philip of Orange and like maybe the antagonist between the 2 days, it might be worth just opening your perspective. So I just give a lot of credit to Fiona, who I worked with. She was a wonderful lady, is a wonderful lady, but she kind of opened my eyes to the other side of the story as
Nice.
well. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I like
maybe you should wear orange, you know?
Maybe so. I don't have much orange either. But I need a holiday that celebrates blue or gray things because that is what I wear. So
We'll go and search for that holiday.
okay,
right?
we'll find one. There is one somewhere.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so you mentioned, so really there's two topics in everybody's minds today.
Okay.
St. Patrick's Day and March Madness.
Nice.
Right, so those are the two top things everywhere today when I was
Okay.
looking around for the topics. So
Right.
tournament starts today, KU plays tonight. A lot of people watching are probably KU fans.
Okay.
We have an inter-office bracket going on, so there's going to be some real competition over the next few days, I'm sure.
It's
So
gonna be cutthroat around here.
are you comfortable sharing your picks? Do you have any like Cinderella kind of out of the dark picks, or who are you rolling with this tourney?
I think this year is going to be insanely tough. You know, I think people would say there's like a good 12 teams on an average year that could win.
Yep.
And a lot of reporting is like, how about like 20 to 24 teams? There's even, like I was listening to Mike Wilbon on PTI. He actually picked the winner of Rutgers Notre Dame to go like another couple of rounds.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
playing game from yesterday.
Right.
You know? And I'm like, that's crazy. Like usually
Right.
you don't see a lot of that. So I do think, I mean, Gonzaga looks uber talented, but I feel like they're not prepared well.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see like if their conference schedule really helps prepare them for something like this. It's hard to say because I'm a Big Ten fan. Well, I'm an Ohio State fan.
Right.
Big Ten, I guess, secondary. But man, I tell you what, the SEC looks good, top to bottom. It's so hard to say. I'm not an SEC hater. I'm just like, they got like football kind of is like their season. Let's,
Right.
like hand it over to somebody else for basketball.
Let somebody else play for a while. Yeah.
And so, like, this is going to come out maybe before it starts, maybe not. I'm picking Tennessee because I tend to kind of go with my favorites too much. Nothing against Tennessee, but they looked pretty good in the conference tournament. I feel like they're pretty loaded. I feel like they're ready. And so trying to go away from who I would normally pick, still like a pretty good team. So I'm going with Tennessee, the Vols. And I'm sure like a lot of my Memphian friends are going, oh, come on, man. Don't go
Yep.
Tennessee. So anyway, that's who I'm going with. How about you? Are you willing to say?
Oh, yeah.
I've already turned I'm not going to change.
Me too. All my brackets are in.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched a single college basketball game yet this year.
Whoa.
Like usually I try to keep an eye on KU and Wichita State a little bit, but life's just been busy. So this year's bracket is very uneducated. I don't really nothing about the top teams.
Which means it has a better chance of winning.
Maybe. So I just tried to go with the schools that are generally in the mix. I feel like there's always a Cinderella, but generally I think if you've been there before, tournament time experience is really helpful. So
Right.
I did two brackets. In one I picked Baylor,
Okay.
and in the other I picked Duke.
Okay.
I feel like Duke would just be they won't win because it's too perfect. If
Right.
Coach K could go out with a victory, I feel like
Yeah.
that's one of those storybook endings. So
Right.
I don't know. Duke and Baylor, but that's a very uneducated guess.
But I do count on you winning because as has been previously reported on this program, like you won both of your fantasy football leagues.
If
this
there's a year,
season.
this is the year. So we'll see. Of course, I want KU to win, but I don't want to pick them just because.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to win a bracket, everyone's
Right.
picking KU around here. So you
And
gotta,
listen, like KU is an endearing program, but they have had these like terrible tournament.
I know.
The killer bees.
Bucknell
Like,
and
anybody
yeah.
with a B.
Yes,
you know?
look out. I know. Yeah. It's kind of like being a Chiefs fan too. Like you think they've got a decent shot, but every game makes you nervous
Yeah.
because they should win, but they never do, or they rarely do.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. Sports.
sports. Here we go.
Yay, sports. All right.
All right, so those are kind of the big ones today. Everybody's
Sure.
talking about those. Let's wrap up with three kind of quick ones here.
I'm kind of curious to see what else is making.
Yes,
any,
I
like,
had to
trending
dig a
out.
little bit, but I found a couple.
All right.
So Willie Wilson's training this morning. Have you heard this story coming out of Chicago?
I have not.
So I don't know very many details, so I apologize. I think I'm getting the main gist right. But so Willie Wilson, he's an entrepreneur based out of Chicago. He ran for mayor, I think, their last elections. And he didn't win.
Sure.
But today he's making headlines because he offered to pay for local Chicagoans' gas up to $200,000.
Whoa.
So he marked off certain locations and he said, hey, until my money's gone, I'm buying gas for anybody who comes through. So it's a cool story. It's causing some problems. There's like traffic jams all over Chicago this morning because people are lining up to get free gas. But obviously gas prices are an issue on a lot of people's minds. And I don't know the details, so I don't want to applaud this guy just in case there's something weird going on. But I like it when people do kind things just to be kind. Like maybe he is a politician, so maybe he's got some ulterior motives, whatever.
Right.
But a lot of people are getting free gas that maybe need some help. So
yeah,
I just like good stories like that whenever they hit the news.
And there's a chance that it's going to be passed on. Like I forget, it was at one of the insurance companies. Here I am, like maybe their marketing didn't hit the mark since I don't remember. But you remember those commercials, the insurance commercials where like somebody did something kind and then that person who received kindness passed it on, and then that person saw them do it, so they did something, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what an economy of grace is. That's what the kingdom of God is. Jesus says those who have been forgiven much will love much.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so it is interesting to see like if something like this could then like hatch this great groundswell of kindness in the world around them. But it is interesting to know how it's actually creating traffic jams and stuff. Like it is really not easy to be generous.
There's always unintended consequences. Right?
There is.
Yeah.
There is. Like it's a crazy deal, but it's kind of funny how like that is always the case. Where sometimes even envy can happen when someone's generous to another person.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like there's a book that I'll kind of drop here. Mike Frost got a book called Surprise the World, and he talks about how when you bless, it does send like a ricocheting effect within a community. And I think probably the most critical thing that could happen with this kind of blessing upon blessing upon blessing is that it really helps us to recalibrate our worldview. I think some people, even people who grew up in the church, they still haven't embraced the idea that this world is actually rigged towards blessing instead of scarcity. And I was thinking about so I was listening to a interview with a guy from Radiohead, one of the leads, I think the lead singer of Radiohead. He says he came from a part of England where if you made it ahead, it was assumed that you cheated. I feel like that's most people's disposition is you only made it ahead because you cheated or somebody extraordinary gave you an extraordinary opportunity. You needed to earn your way there. Like I just feel like there's an array of this brokenness in the world that says the world's out to get me. I'll take one step forward and two back if I ever advance. And so the people of God, if we actually can excel in the grace of generosity, the Apostle Paul would say. Yeah. It could actually help reshape minds for people like who are not even Christian to begin to imagine maybe there's something else going on here than what I've ever considered before. Maybe there is a benevolent creator behind all things who really does want to make my life better, wants to rescue me at some level. And so I think that's one of the critical opportunities for the church is that we can be people of blessing and helps to rewire all of our thinking that the world is not rigged against us, but it's actually governed by a loving creator God who forgives and restores and heals and so on and so forth. So,
I like that. Right. Simple things like that can go a long way. So
that's right. So what are you going to get me for lunch today?
I don't know. What do you want? I already have lunch plans. To be continued.
Just joking, man. I'll put you on the spot.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, man. Two more. We got to go kind of quick here. So I just thought it'd be good to talk briefly about Russia-Ukraine. I feel like obviously it's an ongoing thing. For us, it doesn't affect our day-to-day life that much, and so it's easy for us just to forget about it, especially if we don't pay attention to the news too much. So I just wanted to sprinkle that in. The thing that is trending this morning is both Coke Industries, and Nestle, the company that makes all kinds of things. They're both getting a little bit of heat because they have big headquarters in Russia. A lot of companies are leaving. They're kind of saying, no, we're gonna stay here for whatever reason, and so they're getting some backlash because, of course, when a big company's in a country, they pay a lot of taxes. So they're saying, by you doing business here, you're funding the war.
Right.
They're stuck in a hard place. Like a lot of companies can't just up and leave. So I don't want to get into the divisive politics of that. But anyway, Coke and Nestle are getting some heat today. But I just wanted to give us a chance, give you a chance if you want to. We just don't want to forget the people of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Our lives are normal, but theirs are not, and it's important that we don't forget them. And so, what are any updates on Russia, Ukraine?
Well, I think about President Zelensky's speech yesterday before Congress, and how there seemed to be like this unanimous support and people rallying around an issue that we can agree on. I mean, they passed a bill for daylight savings. That was unanimous, and then we were sitting here like with hopefully empathetic posture towards the country of Ukraine. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, people are in between a rock and a hard place. This type of stuff isn't easy. for me personally, though, so I've been to Ukraine. Just yesterday, I got a Facebook message from a pastor there, and he's telling me what's going on.
Yeah.
I hadn't asked him. Like he's reaching out for help. They're housing an extra 50 people in their church building.
Wow.
And he showed me pictures. I mean, think about like families with teenagers and young kids.
Yep.
People who are separated from their family because some are kind of on fighting fronts. Some have left to Poland as refugees. And so I just think about the people like Pastor Vadim who have now this weight of care. There's tremendous uncertainty. You think about the trauma that's going to cover, average people like you and me, who they're always going to remember this.
Right.
Some of them, they're going to be displaced for quite a long time. Some will return to their home, hopefully after this conflict ends, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
And their home's destroyed.
Right.
And they got to pick up and try to figure all that out. And so I just think we will always be drawn and lured to the headlines, to the argument back and forth about what the Biden administration is doing, not doing.
Yeah.
All sorts of like armchair quarterbacking of this stuff.
Yeah.
I think our faith calls us to actually into the weeds, into the little lives, I guess we could say, of those who are affected by this and who will be affected by it the long haul, and start to like give effort and prayer and support towards those folks would be probably the best thing going forward.
Yeah.
Hopefully this thing is taking a turn towards a ceasefire where cool heads and negotiation could take place. Man, sometimes it seems so far off.
Yeah.
And sometimes reporting thinks that it could be just around the corner. And so here we are, like it's been 3 full weeks. We keep going on. I just can't imagine what those people are going through day after day.
Yeah. I think it's important for us to like kind of force ourselves to keep caring. Like even though our lives have
That's a good point.
we're okay, our lives have kind of moved on, but they haven't. And I think in this 24-hour news cycle, when there's so much else going on, we're thinking about St. Patty's Day in basketball, and there's people in a really hard spot around the world, and this compassion fatigue, and we just get our minds and our hearts get tired of being heavy, and so it's tempting to just that's sad, but I got to keep moving on. But I think it's important that it's a place of privilege where we don't have to worry about that today. So in the midst of all the great fun things going on today and spring break and all that, I think it's good for us just to remember and pray and give if we can, and just keep those people in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, one more. It's just another silly Twitter thing. We had one of these last week, and we got another one this week.
And I just need to tell you that we had a meeting on Thursday night after after Trending aired, and there was a roaring debate after all the business was settled.
Yes,
wheels, doors.
I know. I saw it pop up several places. So anyway. For some reason, I don't know how these things get started. Who knows?
Yes, right.
So this one's not quite as fun, I don't think. But there's a thing on Twitter this morning that I just thought I'd toss to you. So I don't even know who this person is, but someone tweeted, "Name something you like even though you're pretty sure it's terrible." And for some reason, it's trending on Twitter this morning. That's like number 4 or 5 on Twitter this morning. So it was, name something you like that's terrible.
Name something that you like.
And people are saying movies that are kind of thought up to be not very good, or food that's not good. And so, I mean, Taco Bell for me. I love Taco Bell. I know it's horrible food. I know it's not healthy. Mountain Dew. I know it's horrible for me and it's not good, but I love it. So, off the top of your head, what's something that's like bad that you admit that you really love?
Man, okay, so I need to kind of work through layers and layers of self-protection, because as a minister, like you have to, like if you have things that you perceive that people may not like that you enjoy.
Taco Bell and Mountain Dew are fairly safe ones, but they're the first things that came to my mind.
So I think, what is something that
maybe you don't have, you're just a great pastor. You've got nothing.
No. There's obviously stuff, but it's like, what can I share? I mean, there are like TV shows and films.
Yes.
And like music that I listen to on Spotify that if people knew, they'd be like they would raise an eyebrow.
Well,
like, whoa.
Okay, maybe not inappropriate, but what's something that is thought of as lowbrow that you like? Are there any just goofy movies or goofy music? Or like 90s nostalgia things that you hang on to. I think that's what people are leaning into. The kind of like, I know this is thought of as cheesy and stupid, but there's still a place in my heart for like I love the Mighty Ducks movies.
That's right, man. Flying V. That actually got me
Ducks
into
fly
hockey.
Together.
That got me into hockey. I was like, basketball, soccer, baseball. When I saw Mighty Ducks won, I'm in.
Yes. Coach Bombay, man.
That's
Knuckle
right.
puck.
That's right. I think, so I guess... A TV show. So can I tell you like a TV show that I was like super into that if it like was streaming again, I probably would watch again.
Okay, I'm ready.
Like there was a show called Party of Five back in the day.
Okay.
Okay. And it was only because like as a teenage lad, okay, Jennifer Love Hewitt was like was like the heartthrob. And so
Yep.
but I remember watching the show going, the plot's terrible. It's not very entertaining. It makes me more sad than anything else.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to miss an episode. And so
Okay.
I guess if I had to say today, it would be Party of Five.
Okay, I think that's a good answer. I don't think I've ever seen the show, but that's a good answer.
Well, anyways, maybe somebody has.
I just thought it'd be good fodder. So if anybody else has something that it's not culturally cool to enjoy, but you enjoy it,
Right.
we'd love to hear from you.
I'm trying to. I don't know, man.
Like Nicolas Cage movies. I feel like that would be a good thing to say.
But I feel like I'm like no, like the culture is right. like avoid Nicolas Cage.
True.
Man, I'll think of some more. I'll post. You'll give me a couple hours.
Okay.
I'll post some on the Facebook thread.
Nice. I'll be anxious to see if anybody's bold enough to share. I feel like Doug Dick watches every week. I feel like Doug's got he's going to have something good to say here.
I don't know.
So Doug, I'm calling you out. I want to see what you like that is culturally not cool.
He,
Or something that's terrible.
but that might be the rub. Like he might think it's genuinely cool and completely unaware
True,
that it's just
true.
not,
it's not above.
so maybe Joel.
Oh,
his
Joel.
son.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, or Melanie. Like maybe.
I just want anybody. I don't care. Anybody watching, just give us a little giggle today. Let us know what you think is terrible, but you also secretly enjoy.
I love
No
it.
judgment.
No judgment.
Judgment-free zone.
That's right. Like Planet Fitness.
Like Planet Fitness. All right, man. We got to go. It's been a long episode. Anything else to wrap up today?
No,
Happy
man.
St. Patrick's Day. Go watch some basketball.
Yeah.
Have a great spring break if you're on spring break.
Yes.
Have a great spring regular if you're in the office today.
Yes. Get this man some green.
Yes. I need something green. All right. Have a great day, guys. See ya.
See you next time.